What is going on, guys? It is your boy Thriller here, and welcome to playoffs for the LGA. So, those know that I've done some content on the LGA before, and I decided to make some more content because um, this was another one of those instances where this matchup had to be played on Showdown because of disconnects, and we'll go all over it all the time. First off, our opponent is IMDStroyR, and honestly, this is one of the nicest and coolest dudes I got a chance to interact with. So if you guys have never checked out Destroyer, please just go to the description, check out my boy. He is an amazing good player, and he is one of the coolest and nicest human beings I ever got to interact with. And I'll explain why. But even then, he's just a really cool dude. So please go to the description, check him out, give him a subscription, and let him know we sent you. So, this matchup against Destroyer, let's just talk about it real quick. He's got Gouging Fire, Zarude, Quackle, Wobble, 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 Ursula, Blood Moon, Sneasler, Galarian, Wheezing, Empoleon, Tornadus, Carkol, and Chargeable, with chair captains being the Zarude, Tornadus, and Carkol. And just to kind of a little refresher of what I had drafted this season. Where is it? I think it's. Oh, sorry. Right here. I had drafted Raging Bull, Landorus T, Hisuian Samurott, Heatran, Hitmontop, Rabombi, Cinccino, Decidueye, Dragalge, Dragonite, with Terra Captives being the Raging Bolt and Rabombi. So, looking at this matchup, Gaussian Fire was a massive threat along with Zarude. Those two together is just one tough tangent to take on. Excuse me. Definitely a difficult duo to really take on. Quackball is also a bit of a threatening thing between between dual stab and triple axle. It's actually tough to get around this Quackball. It's really hard for us to really kind of move around, be able to take that thing on. Ursula Balloon's another one of those mons that we can do well offensively into it, but defensively we don't have the best switch-ins to this Pokemon. Very hard for my team to take hits from that. Sneasler, bit of a 50-50 mon personally into my team. I have a couple of really good checks to it with also play Terra Captains. I can also really offensively and defensively check it, which I think is really important to note here. Which I think is really, really good. It's a mon that also probably could not come because it's really weak defensive. Like, there's no good answer for it to be brought versus me unless like Scarf or Unburden, depending on the situation. Galarian Wheezy and a very annoying mon that with Levitate it can kind of wall my Lando to an extent and just easily burn it if I'm more of a physical set. He's also a mod that could just really wall some stuff on my side. Sorry I'm yawning a lot, guys. It's as you can clearly tell in the bottom right hand corner. It is almost 7 a.m. for me. I just woke. I didn't just wake up, but I woke up a little bit. So, just very very tired. But I want to get this video recorded. Um, Empoleon, Mon I didn't really fear. Empoleon really didn't do that crazy into me. I didn't really think it was that scary. Tornadus Incarnate, I actually was looking and he actually brought some really cool strats with Tornadus in some of his previous games. So, Tornadus definitely was something I was really concerned about, especially if a Tailwind set came. Tailwind was just gonna destroy me if I was not careful. Excuse me. Careful around that. Terra Carkol, I actually seen him actually kind of cook with some people with having Terra Carkol on his team, so I don't personally think it's never coming versus me, but if I don't respect it enough, it could be a one that could sweep me if I'm not careful. And Chargebug, it's only if he wants to bring Webs, but with the team I have, Webs is kind of a little bit of irrelevant in terms of what it can contact and what it actually does to hinder me. So, the team we are bringing this week is going to be my buddy Rose, aka the Landry. This is a fully specially offensive Lando with Calm Mind. We are Pasho Berry, so we guarantee lift one Aqua Step from the Duck. Now I know a lot of people just say, "Oh, he's just gonna triple axle you. Why be Pasho Berry?" Well, the thing is, he'd rather get an Aqua Step in front of the Landorus instead of if he's can like take the hit type of thing. Because that way, then he could axle the following turn. Especially if he's intimidated. Like he's even intimidated with a Yachi Berry. He actually, I don't think ever guarantee knocks me out. unless he's adamant. But I also just felt like this was just a really good lore because more times than not, if this duck gets a spin, like basically gets a step off, it can outspeed pretty much the entirety of my team outside of two Pokemon. But then when it gets a spin off, when it gets that step off, then it outspeeds my entire team in the same Scarf. So I felt like this was a better lore. I mean, if he goes for triple axle and doesn't try to get a speed raise, then we can pretty much revenge him easily with a couple of Pokemon. So overall, I felt like this Landorus was really, really good into him offensively. It's also a decent, okay defensive check to the most part as well. Good pivot. So there's that. Up next, we're rocking out Jess, our Terra Captain, with Rabombi with Terra Fairy. Outside of just the Empoleon, with this coverage option, we just destroy everything, man. Like this Pokemon does insane this matchup. We are 108. We are Quiver Dance, Moonblast, Psychic, Grass Knot with 108 defense, max special attack, Modest, 100 Spadef, and 48 speed. Now you may be wondering, Thriller, you don't outspeed a Sneasler. What are you doing? Well, here's the thing. Sneasler, in my opinion, has that 50-50 matchup. It's a mon that definitely can come into my team because it is a good offensive piece. But if I see it come, it's probably most likely going to be Banded. It's going to be Unburdened. There's a chance it could be Scarf if it's that worried about something like Shinsino or +1 D Knight or +1 Landorus. You know, excuse me, guys. Sorry for the yawns. But there's just a lot of factors that can go into this. That can go into this, right? So I'm taking the gamble, and I'm not running max speed. Pretty much running max speed. And I also think without this, like if I Terra with this thing, I should theoretically just guarantee win the game. But overall, this mon is here to design to be really just annoying. If it gets one or two quivers up, it pretty much will win the game straight up. And if I do find an opportunity where I think the Terra Fairy is better, I always go for it and I get the KO. So there's that. But this mon, absolutely amazing in this matchup. Up next, we're in Raging Bull, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I can see why Terra Raging Bull is a good Pokemon, and I can see why it performs as well as it does. After just this season, I haven't saw myself really Terra this guy. Like this mon didn't scream out to tearing it for me, and this could just honestly be a me thing. Maybe I don't see the good value of Raging Bolt, but this is again one of those things where I think if you draft multiple Terra captains, there's just one Terra captain that does the matchup so much better. And here's the thing: based as captains, Raging Bolt is way better than Rabombi ever was. In matchups, I have felt like Rabombi has been such a better mon to Terra than Raging Bolt, in my personal opinion. Again, that is just my opinion. I know there's gonna be so many people telling me that I'm wrong, and that's okay. You guys are allowed to say your opinion on the matter. But that's that. But I really just haven't really thought Raging Bolt was really good for me this season. He got a kill or two every once in a while. I mean, he killed the Doug trio without Terra, so that's kind of cool. But it's been nothing else that's really been too stellar for me. But this could be the game for Raging Bull to prove something here to me, and let's just have to hope. But we are Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, and Solar Beam with the Power Herb, Max Defense, 124 Special Attack, Modest Nature, and a 132 Speed stat. I could have went a lot more bulkier with this guy, in terms of building from like HP and yeah, potentially. But we went just straight max defense just because it takes. Once I Terra, this thing is so fat to take down. It is so unbelievably hard for my opponent to really beat it. The power of Solar Beam is just for Ursula Blood Moon. It also helps with Quack potentially as well if I want to go for more of that type of role instead of going for Thunderbolt, even though I think Thunderbolt will probably kill more. I can just basically go for that, which I think is really fine here. But we are Thunderbolt plus Dragon Pulse because there's no real dual stab combination that really stops this set. And can't really be beat. So this thing, if I get in the position where I can get like a Calm Mind up, and I get rid of some threats such as Arsenal Blood Moon for the most part, and I can pull off the Terra and bring this mon in. This mon can just straight up win. I was debating Terra Blast, but I felt like I just didn't want the Terra Blast. I felt like defensive type defensive typing was all I really needed for Raging Bull in this matchup. Up next, we're bringing Lamar or Cincino. Uh, Basically, if you guys have not known, I'm naming the Pokemon after friends that I have made from the Discord server, the Devil's Den, just across platforms of Discord servers that we've been together in. So that's who I'm naming my friends after. Originally, I had some different Pokemon on this team that would have been a lot more different for me and did this and that. But we're rocking out with Tidy Up, Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, Tail Slap with 20 HP, Max Attack, Adamant, 116 Defense, and 120 Speed. This lets me outspeed Quackable and below with a +1, and I guarantee outspeed everything just naturally at +1 without any Scarfers. So definitely something to take note of there. So, uh, sorry guys, I'm being a little distracted. My cat's trying to play with my glasses. And he's trying to act like he's cute, but he's trying to be a menace. But with this set, we pretty much cover a lot of bases here. We could pretty much offensively pressure a lot of things, especially if we get a tidy up off. We get a tidy up off. This mon is absolutely dummy broken and can just do so much damage. Shinsino just defend is actually been an okay mon ever since we picked it up. It's not been stellar, and I still hate this thing to a death. I think it's just a garbage Pokemon. But I needed better stuff on my team to do stuff with, so it fit the bill for what we needed. So it is a decent mon, but I don't know, man. It's just been so. Next, we have Brendan, aka the Dragonite, who has definitely probably been one of our top three, if not maybe in our top two for MVPs this season. After the first week, after like the first 4 weeks or so, Dragonite kind of slowed down, and just didn't do anything else. Maybe got 1 kill per game or something like that. But overall, Dragonite was in the top 10 for kill leaders this season by the end of the season, which I think was really great. And I've come to appreciate Dragonite more. I'm definitely one of the guys that now stands by Dragonite and says it's a great Pokemon. At first, I was a hater, but this was a season for Dragonite to prove something to me, and Dragonite really did. I brought Dragonite probably more often than I thought I was going to because I just liked its matchup, its typing, at least its flying typing coming into the games and stuff like that. So but fun fact about this Dragonite set, I had originally brought a different set for Dragonite because I thought this was going to be a better to have a facade build on the team. But the day before I battled Destroyer, as I was genning my team, I decided to make a last minute decision and I went for Ironhead. Now, based on the battle we're about to see, I'm actually really happy I made this decision. This was a decision I think that definitely made me feel happy about what I said we did here because it really opens the door. Because now with having Iron Head, I can guarantee hit that Galarian Wheezing. Even if it's max Fizz Depth, I can be able to potentially one shot if I get some ship damage off on it potentially, or I can go for the flinch and just hopefully go for a 2-hit KO essentially. But we are adamant max attack with 96 defense with 160 speed. This strictly will outspeed pretty much everything but everything that is a bulky and below. We outspeed a bulky DD gouging fire unless it has a ton of speed investment in it. With the red card too, if it get red card into a Pokemon after we get a Dragon Dance off and it's not Scarf, we are pretty much chilling to just spam attacks and not have to worry about anything. If the red card can is a double-edged sword, right? It's one of those things that it's good, but it's also really bad, potentially. So we gotta really play around this. Mon did really position to win. But otherwise, it can be just used as a nice big breaker. And the other last minute decision I made for this matchup was that I went with Hisuian Samurott here with the Rindo Berry. I was really debating between Chople, Rindo, putting potentially a flying type move and stuff like that. I was so complicating this entire matchup because of it. Um, and at the end of the day, I don't regret picking this over Dragalge. I think Dragalge would have been great, but the thing would be I would only have two mons that are guaranteed like fast threats, and then a mon that needs speed bulk to so I think having that nice mutual in the middle. Plus again with his hazard removal, I think it's only the Carkle and Defog and Galarian Weezing. So if he forces himself to bring Defog and Galarian Weezing, that's one less movie he has to have on that Weezing. So I think this was and ultimately the best thing to do here. And I think the Reno Berry was probably the worst decision I could have made. I think Chopper was probably always the better play. But it was a toss up. It was a toss up. We are Swords Dance, Aqua Cutter, Sea Sludge, Facade. This is the thing I can actually see myself getting burned on with, so I think Facade's really good tech. I think it was between this or rocking with a flying type move because Air Slash would have been boosted and it could have been able to 2 KO Quack on a switch in. If I get Swords Dance up and I had Chopple or I win the speed tie with Aerial Ace, I pretty much guarantee knock out a Quack, which is really, really good. The reason why we go Reno Berry is because it could lure in not Annihilate, what the hell? This is a Rude, so that was the reason why behind that. So, but yeah, that is gonna be the team, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get in straight into the battle. And we're here for the battle, and I honestly might put some time cards down below to let you guys know when we actually do the battle and stuff like that. Because I actually went in a little more depth with this game because there is a ton of things to talk about this game. So, as you can see for the team he has brought everything we expected. He did bring Sneasler, which was the big 50-50 mon I thought could come this matchup. Sneasler, I think, also has been a bone he's been loving and he knows how to use very well. So, definitely went very much for the comfort here. Now, excuse me. There is something you should know about this game. We had played this battle and had to recreate this battle a total, I think, 7 to 8 times. We originally started playing and made like 11 turns into the game, and unfortunately, Destroyer had a DC issue happen on his side, and then we went into 4 games where damage rolls and crits happened, and then there was 2 DCs that happened on my end, even though I was still connected online. So those were some stupid shadow DCs then that happened, and we were like, nope, we're going to Showdown. I'm not dealing with this. So we recreated in Showdown. We had to recreate, I think we had, I think, recreate once or twice on Showdown because of some damage rolls, I think, as well. So what you're about to see is pretty much a planned battle until it is a Rude versus Rabombi. After that, it's pretty much the game where it's at. So, show you guys here. So I would lead off Landorus as he's going to lead off with the Galarian Wheezing. He is going to show that he's Misty Surge, so that probably just tell me that is most likely going to be Unburdened Sneasler, which is what I was pretty much expecting here. I actually was thinking he could be the Misty Surge Wheezing this game, because it would make a lot of sense in terms of some stuff I could do here. Also being able to make sure it can kind of just not do much here. But with seeing this, it pretty much tell me that this thing might not have been that threatening or really that defensive. I would have pretended if he was Def or Fizz Def here in this matchup. Most likely should always be Fizz Def into the matchup here, but we're gonna go for the Calm Mind. He's gonna go into this guy. Now, real quick, he accidentally put in a leftovers on this Pokemon, even though it was Misty Seed. But I'm gonna tell you all right now, the mishap does not matter. You could say he was cheating, but no. If he was calm minding and moonlighting with leftovers, then I would say that was cheating. But I'll tell you right now, it doesn't make any difference in the battle, so that's fine. We went for a second calm mind as he blood moons. We guarantee chew that hit up, which is relatively good here. I decided to go for the grass knot on this turn. I was actually debating going for the earth power here, but he goes into this guy. And a fun fact about this turn, and I even told him, is that originally I was actually thinking of going for Earth Power here. But the same thing as well, I could have had Sludge Wave. Like, he definitely took a bit of a gamble because what he's about to do here, as you can see, he's gonna actually stay in and click and go into the Terra Fairy. I generally think this was a really risky play because if I was Sludge Wave on my guy, this would have been a 2 KO potentially. And I mean, I think because I got the +1 Spadef, and based on the fact that he was actually specially defensive as a Rude, that was probably going to be maybe a roll to kill him. But with now having that special defense boost, it was a guaranteed two shot on him. So very interested on that play. And fun enough, I actually would have lived his Terra Blast here as he goes for. Does go for the red card here and actually got Ursaluna Blood Moon. So, fun fact, we had to recreate once or twice or actually figure out a situation because of the fact that red card can't control how the Mon needs to be swapped in. So, we would have had that. But thankfully, on this recreation that we did, we got Ursaluna on the first try. So, that was really, really nice. But I go for the Dragon Dance. He's going to go for Calm Mind here. I'm just going to go for Dragon Claw. I need to get chip damage off on this Blood Moon here. He's going to go ahead and sock him off here. I'm going to go for the Calm Mind. He's going to click Moonlight here. We go for the grass knot. Unfortunately, do not pick up the KO. It was a somewhat roll, but I think he always guaranteed live because of that here. But now I go for Bombi here. I'm going to go ahead and click the Quiver Dance here. And now we're just going to click Psychic. This guarantee kills this thing unless it's Bedef, but it is not, so he goes down. And this is pretty much where we finished the recreation and decided to play just from here because that's how it was. I decided to go for Terra Blast on this guy. Guarantee get a 2 KO, which is really great. And he's gonna go for Terra Blast, which we chew. Thanks to my defense mess, we get rid of Zarude, which is huge. And now he goes Disgouging Fire. And this was very much offensive gouging. I think he actually showed me that he was max speed, max attack, which I think was actually designed to outspeed my Landorus, I'm pretty sure. And that really sucked because I actually was really debating Terraing right here and just trying to go for the kill. Because, fun fact, if I actually just Terra and go for the hit here, I pretty much guarantee win the game. Like, there's nowhere to deny. But I was thinking to myself, you know, if this is like a bulky gouging, I need to get chip damage off on this thing. And depending on what he wants to do, I then can go in something like my Cinccino, offensively pressure the Pokemon, or go into my Samurai, and on a potential Burning Bulwark that he could do, or a potential um DD up, I can Swords Dance, know I can live one hit unless he's adamant, and then possibly have a chance to revenge it and get either a spike up or hopefully a crit with Aqua Cutter, depending on the situation. Then I can just go into my bolt and hopefully live a hit relatively well and knock anything out as well. I really debated on going for because I did saw that if this was an offensive, non bulky at all gouging, I actually would have straight up killed. I actually also think this gouging, it was a roll to knock it out just into my base form right here with the fairy feather. Which, by the way, anyone was wondering, Fairy Feather is basically just um Pixie Plate, just a funnier item. Um, but yeah, like I said, if I went for just Terra on Rabombi right here, it was pretty much game. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was pretty much game. Which is a really unfortunate thing because he is gonna actually go for the Flare Blitz here, and knock himself out to recoil. So Rabombi picked up. So theoretically speaking, Rabombi picked up 3 KOs, and again, Terrabombi, do not sleep on this Pokemon, guys. This Pokemon is an absolute menace with Terra. It is so unbelievably good. And I'm telling you, this is a Pokemon that you have to respect. Like, you guys can respect Rage Bull all you want. That's great, but if you don't respect a mon that can Quiver Dance, like, this mon cooked. And I absolutely loved Rabombi this season. It was hands down probably in our at least top three for MVPs this season, which I think was really great. So, but he's gonna go Sneasler here. As I'm gonna go into my Raging Bolt here, I'm going to go ahead and just click the Terra button here because this was he did reveal that he was Choice Scarf, which I was actually a little surprised to see he was Scarf. I think Scarf was an interesting bring here. Just because of the fact that Scarf kind of didn't really help so much unless he was really worried about like a fast Lando or fast D-Knight, which then would make a ton of sense just to make sure he has that. I guess Switcher was also there in case he wanted to cripple something as a backup plan for that instance. And this is definitely where not running max speed Rabombi hurt me. If I actually was max speed Rabombi with my Terra Fairy, again, it would have depended on some situations. I think I always would have lived. I always would have lived the Terra Blast hit from the Zaru, which, fun fact, only was fighting in Fairy. It did not have any grass coverage, which makes me sad on my Samurai here. And here was a little bit of a tiny misplay. Nothing too broken of a misplay, but I think it didn't change really any of the situations here. I sack off Samurai. Like I said, if I had Choppleberry on Samurai, I would have sacked off this. Still would have made the plays I would have done, and then in a 1v1 scenario, if it gets down to it, with Sneasler versus this, I would be able to have the Choppleberry easily knock it out with an Aqua Cutter, and I can win the game. So definitely biting myself really badly that I did not go for that. Very shocked he would go for the close combat, but I guess at the same time I am scarfed here, so I go for Dragon Pulse, and as I can see, we can still knock it out here without the leftovers here. I just go for a nice 2 KO on the duck here. The duck does not do anything to me. We're at 41%. I go ahead and go into Lamar just to sack it off here, and he gets a dire claw. And what's funny, the one time we decided to recreate this battle afterwards, he got the exact same dire claw situation on my Chinchino, which was pretty funny. But now I go to my Raging Bolt here. He's gonna go for the dire claw here, which is not gonna knock me out. And fun fact here, we did the calcs, and I think I still have the calcs right here. Sneezer's close combat at 25% of my HP was a guaranteed 2-hit KO. So if he goes for close combat or dire claw into close combat, he never killed me. Never ever killed me. But he goes for dire claw. We get the Thunderbolt off. It's great. We're gonna go for Thunderbolt, and as long as we don't get hacks, we win. He gets a crit. And first off, I said GG before I saw the crit happen. So I was saying GG in case either he won or I won. And we 100% did the calcs, guys. That crit 1000% mattered, and it's going to cost us the game. But another interesting fact here is that Destroyer wanted to recreate the game and said that's the game should count. And first off, this is where I'm telling you guys that Destroyer is one of the nicest human beings and one of the greatest sports players here for the draft league scene. This dude was 1000% willing to give up playoff spot for me because he felt like for such a good game that came so damn close down to the wire, he genuinely felt that he shouldn't have deserved this win, and he was willing to pass it to me. And I personally told him that I would never have felt good about this. So basically, we were both trying to be really good human beings. So what we ended up doing is we could have I had Destroyer go to the mods and make a decision. Basically, explain that we're both in a situation where we both don't want to take this win, based on the circumstances of the game. I explained my reasons, he explained his reasons, and then a mod looked at the game, and the mod was going to make the final decision, and we agreed that whatever the mods decided, it was going to be their ruling. And with that, Destroyer does go on to playoffs, and honestly, that's how it should be. Destroyer did beat me fair and square, besides that one crit. But at the end of the day, this is just a game. Like I want to say Destroyer has all my respect and all of a brotherhood with him because that is like he is one of the nicest players I have ever had the greatest honor of interacting with. Because this was a dude willing to give up his playoff spot just to give me the chance to win it, to try to win the league and continue on in playoffs. And like I said, like there's not a lot of humans out there that would do this. Now, if this was just a regular game, then this would never. Then if he wanted to, we could just done that. But this was playoffs, and playoffs are very serious, and there can be some questioning. There can be some actions brought against you potentially. So at the end of the day, we both didn't want to take the win. The mods decided this win, so Destroyer goes on. And like I said, I think that is the correct decision to make in this instance because Destroyer did beat me. Yeah, a crit happening sucks, and it's definitely a little hurt slash unfair to me because of that crit happening. Basically, here's the thing too: if the crit doesn't happen, and we actually did another recreation, um, based off this, and he still made the play of close combat, we would always would have lived the hit. But in some aspects, close combat was probably the play, but in the other aspect, I think going for Dire Claw was also a play. And if he Dire Claws and he gets the status on me, or a crit, actually, I think, because the thing was this, right? If he crit me with Dire Claw, actually, it would have been the same roll. So basically, the play at that point in time would have been going for Dire Claw and just hoping that I got parried to full para, or if I got put to sleep like the Chincino. So technically speaking, Destroyer had two outs for that. It was either trading me with close combat or trading or trying to go for the status on Dire Claw. I guess either play makes sense to go for at that point in time.
But yeah, without that crit, we would have won this game, and it really does suck because I felt like I really came back after starting off on the back foot here, and just having also a really tough matchup. I genuinely am proud of myself for this game because I brought it back so close, and I really knew how to use my Pokemon this game and played super, super, super well. Like I say, and if I was actually max speed timid with the B, Terra Fairy would have just straight up won the game because at that with +1 we actually will obliterate the gouging fire because I actually looked at it here, and if we look here, and this is only the one type of mon I'm guaranteeing that I really wish I had just went with my gut. So let's say for example we are max speed just for the sake of argument, stuff like that. We guarantee outspeed the Scarf Sneasler. Moonblast at +1 guarantee obliterates this, and then we look at the gouging fire. It's not HP invested. The worst case that happens here in this type of situation is that we don't get the roll. If we don't get the roll, then we just don't get the roll. That's just how it would have been. But I would have loved to have saw. Now, if I had Terra Fairied and I was modest, that guarantee would have knocked him out 1000% of the time. But again, I didn't know his speed on Sneasler because I thought it was an Unburden set and not a Scarf set, which would have played a lot of difference there. But that is it for our season of LGA. And I want to personally thank the mod team for inviting us for the Wi-Fi season. I had a lot of fun, and I'm both happy and sad about my run. It's definitely sad because I lost a lot of games that some I shouldn't have lost, some I just got really unlucky with. And there's only one game I'm really disappointed in myself in that season, and that's against Zombie, where I just let my team die for no reason. There was literally no reason for me not to make the plays that I did. And I gave Zombie a really shitty game. So that was the only game I felt really disappointed in myself because I could have also I just really lowered the diff, so where my diff wouldn't have played a big part of it. And it kind of sucked too because I think we started off I think 3 or 4-0 and then pretty much went in a big downward spiral until we won our second to last week game. So, and then losing our last week game before playoffs. But luckily, we were only playing for diff that way because that was going to guarantee make the playoffs. So, I didn't really care too much for that one, but yeah, there were some games I got lucky. But what I was really happy about the season is that was my first Wi-Fi league back in just months, and we made the playoffs, which was great. And we also battled against a really good amount of people. We got to try some mons out that I never really use. I finally got to try out some Pokemon I've been dying to use. And just overall, despite some of the downs that happen, I'm so unbelievably happy with this season. I'm definitely happy with how I played this game after really having to come back in the start of the starting after kind of going down like almost like going 0 and 2 at this point. So I'm just really overall proud of my run, proud of myself, and just proud of the season regardless of how it went down. So thank you again to the LGA staff once again, one more time, for letting us participate this season. Might try Showdown again, might try Wi Fi again in a future season. Who knows? Depends if you guys want to wait till Champions come out or not. And Destroyer, if you're watching this video, you are, like I said, man, you are one of single handedly one of the nicest draft league players I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. I definitely think you 1000% deserve to move on to the playoffs. You deserve the win because in the end of the game, which it sucks that the hacks happened on the final turn in such a great game. You still deserve to make the playoffs, man. You got a great team. You've got great battle skills, and I'm really hoping that you're going to go all the way and win the season, man. I really, really hope you win this championship, man. So you got my vote to win, man. Thank you so much for the battle. It was an insanely good game, and I look forward to another amazing battle to you, dude. Absolutely looking forward to it. And like I said, guys, if you haven't already, please, please, please go check out Destroyer. He is a phenomenal dude, great battler, and just overall a great human being, man. Like we talk about a guy that almost was basically willing to give up playoffs because he would have felt so wrong stealing it from me when I would have won. So, like I said though, it's just the way that the battle had to go, man. So Destroyer moves on. We will officially be eliminated, but I'm actually a tiny bit low key happy because having one less league to prep for kind of helps me a tiny bit. But at the same time, it's gonna feel a little sad not to make the playoffs. Continue on, man. But yeah, I've been rambling for so long. I've been rambling for probably almost 30 straight minutes. So this is definitely one of those battles that really needed a lot of talk and explanation. Like I said, I might do a time card to separate the team builder slash breakdown of the game and then the battle itself. But yeah, if you watched all the way to this video, type the secret word pineapple. Let's just do that. And let me know what your thoughts were about this game on the whole situation, stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for an amazing season. Thank you guys for any love and support you've been showing recently on the videos, whether it's been the Let's Plays or these battles. And yeah, that's just gonna be how it's gonna be. So thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Furu Crew Day to be thrilling with the King of the Crew. And yeah, like I said, check out Destroyer, and I will see you guys for with the Ever Draft League next, which is pretty much just the Ball Joey Draft League at the current moment. But with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.